Friends, have you ever wondered how America went from a nation torn apart by civil war to a world superpower in just a few generations? Or how ordinary people, immigrants, workers, and dreamers helped build the country we know today? In this episode, we're uncovering the stories of progress, crisis, and change that shaped modern America and the lessons you'll need for the US History Regents in June 2025. Let's set the stage. It's the late 1800s. The Civil War is over, but the country is still healing. The West is closing, and cities are booming. New inventions like the telephone, the light bulb, and the railroad are changing everything. Millions of immigrants arrive, searching for a better life. They settle in crowded cities, work in factories, and help build the nation's future. But life isn't easy. There are long hours, low pay, and dangerous conditions. The gap between rich and poor grows wider. This is the Gilded Age, a time of incredible wealth and deep poverty, of hope and hardship. But beneath the surface, trouble is brewing. Workers begin to organize, demanding better pay and safer conditions. Strikes break out. The Haymarket Riot, the Pullman strike, these are more than just headlines. They're signs that America is changing, and not everyone is happy about it. At the same time, reformers, people like Jane Addams and Jacob Riis, shine a light on the problems of the cities. They fight for child labor laws, safer housing, and women's rights. The progressive era is born, and with it, a new belief that government can and should help solve society's problems. Let's walk through the key moments that shaped this era. 1890s, the progressive movement takes off. Muckrakers like Upton Sinclair exposed the dark side of industry with books like The Jungle. 1901, Theodore Roosevelt becomes president. He's known as a trustbuster, breaking up big companies and protecting the environment. 1914 to 1918, World War I erupts. The US tries to stay neutral, but eventually joins the fight. When the war ends, America is changed forever. The 1920s bring new freedoms, jazz, flappers, and the Harlem Renaissance. But not everyone shares in the prosperity. Farmers struggle, and racial tensions simmer. Then, in 1929, disaster strikes. The stock market crashes, and the Great Depression begins. Banks fail. Unemployment soars. Families lose everything. Imagine being a child during the Great Depression, standing in line for bread, watching your parents worry about the future. Or an immigrant working 12-hour days in a sweatshop, dreaming of something better. Or picture a young woman marching for the right to vote, facing jeers and threats but refusing to back down. These are the stories that bring history to life and the stories that can make your Regents essay stand out. The crisis of the Great Depression leads to big changes. Franklin D. Roosevelt is elected president and launches the New Deal, a series of programs to help people get back on their feet. Social Security, unemployment insurance, and public works projects reshape the role of government. But not everyone agrees with FDR's ideas. Some say he's doing too much. Others say he's not doing enough. The debate over the government's role in people's lives continues to this day. 1939 to 1945, World War II begins. The US is drawn in after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Americans fight on two fronts, Europe and the Pacific. At home, people ration food, plant victory gardens, and work in factories to support the war effort. 1945, the war ends. The US emerges as a global superpower, but a new conflict is on the horizon, the Cold War. The Cold War isn't fought on battlefields, but in boardrooms, laboratories, and the space race. The US and the Soviet Union compete for influence around the world. There are moments of fear, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Red Scare, and the Vietnam War. Imagine being a soldier storming the beaches of Normandy, or a child practicing duck and cover drills at school, afraid of a nuclear attack. Or a civil rights activist marching in Selma, risking everything for justice. These moments are more than just facts, they're stories of courage, fear, and hope. The Cold War shapes everything: politics, culture, even the way we see ourselves. It ends with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, but its impact is still felt today. At home, the fight for civil rights changes America forever. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X challenged the nation to live up to its ideals. Laws like the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act bring new freedoms, but the struggle for equality continues. 1970s, 1980s, the US faces new challenges: Watergate, the energy crisis, and the end of the Vietnam War. Technology begins to change daily life. 1990s, the Cold War ends. The US becomes the world's only superpower. The economy booms, but not everyone benefits equally. 2001, the September 11th attacks shock the nation. America enters a new era of security concerns and global conflict. 2008, the Great Recession hits, leading to job losses and economic uncertainty. 2010s, 2020s, social media, technology, and new movements like Black Lives Matter reshape how Americans connect, protest, and push for change. Think about the first responders on September 11th, running toward danger to save others. Or the families affected by the Great Recession, struggling to keep their homes. Or the students marching for climate action, determined to make their voices heard. These are the stories that define modern America, and the stories that can help you write a Regents essay that stands out. Today, America faces new challenges: political divisions, debates over immigration, climate change, and the role of technology in our lives. But the lessons of history are more important than ever. The Regents exam isn't just about memorizing dates and names. It's about understanding how these events connect and what they mean for our future. So, what can we learn from the story of modern America? Progress isn't always easy. There are setbacks, crises, and moments of doubt. But time and again, Americans have found ways to adapt, to fight for justice, and to move forward. As you prepare for the US History Regents in June 2025, remember, every essay is a chance to show what you know, not just the facts, but the stories, the emotions, and the lessons that history teaches us. Ask yourself, how did ordinary people shape extraordinary events? What choices did leaders make, and why? How did America change, and what challenges remain? If you can answer those questions, you're not just ready for the Regents. You're ready to understand the story of America and maybe to help write its next chapter. If you found this helpful, don't forget to check out our other Regents review videos, where we break down key themes, essay strategies, and practice questions to help you succeed. Good luck, and remember, history is your story, too.